Okay, yeah. In question number 2, I'd like you guys to pay attention because we stuck on this question yesterday with the grade 12C, and also it has an idea that depends
لسه
on.
ثانية واحدة بس، احنا 12A مش 12C.
بقول لك yesterday when we are solving this question مع 12C we stuck in this question in one point كده. I would like to say this point for you يعني or this trick.
اوكي.
ضروري يا معلم اعمل ايه؟
لا عشان انت ممكن تكون سابق يعني مع
سابق
الفصل الثاني
يعني.
سابقنا يعني.
انا عارف بس ثانك يو ليك يعني انا عارف ان انت حريص. فانا بقول لك ان this question when we solved this question yesterday with 12C, what do you not see guys that we have to the same function x minus 1 and 0 to 2. Let's find here the
A والB يا مستر.
A is what is 0 and B is what is 2.
From 0 to 2.
طيب let's find the integral of x minus 1. The integral of x is x squared over 2 and the integral of 1 is
x.
And here from 0 to 2. حلو. Start by plug in 2 first بدل x. So we have 4 over 2 minus 2. بعدين plug in 0. بعدين minus دايما. بعدين plug in 0.
0 minus 0
squared over 2 minus 0 becomes what? 0. So your answer here is what?
0 minus 0.
Yes.
2 minus 2, which is 0. 0 minus 0 0. Allah. Do you have area guys that is 0?
لا.
لا
يا زمن لا تقوليش في طريقة تانية دلوقتي.
No, it's a correct answer. But yesterday we started to think of this A point يعني قلنا ما في area طبعا هي 0 بس هي في رول بس صغيرة في 4.4.
مستر مش فاهم لو طلعت 0 minus 0 شو يعني؟
0 minus 0 عادي يعني the area is 0 but الحقيقة يعني في إيه؟ The fact here that wait let's graph here x minus 1. Let's sketch the graph of x minus 1. It's a line. يعني to sketch the graph of x minus 1 it's a line. So from -1 اللي هو y-intercept, right?
-1 to 3.
The slope is what? 1 over 1 يعني. And then I move up 1 unit, right 1 unit. لو قلنا هنا 1 2 3 4 5 and so on. And here's 1 2 3 4. Okay. هنا y-axis and x-axis. فطبعا how to graph x minus 1 ببدأ من y-axis, y-intercept 0 and the negative 1 because the value of b is negative 1. عليكم السلام وسلام.
Sorry for being late, Mr.
No problem. And then from this point you will move up 1 unit right, 1 unit, 1 unit up, 1 unit right, 1 unit up, 1 unit right, and so on. Okay, so you have a line. It's not accurate line, but يكون عندك line like this. Okay. To find the area, بيقول لك find the area, find the integral, the definite integral from 0 to 2. From 0 to what? To 2. يعني do you see my graph here? You have a triangle above the x-axis and the triangle below the x-axis. You have what, Osama? The triangle above and triangle below. So again, we have here like this. هنشوف مثلا هنا -1 أكبره شوية وهنا 2 وهنا ال 1. Okay. So here is also x-intercept. So the graph nearly like this. Okay, so you have a triangle above and triangle below. Geometrically, to find the area of this triangle, yeah, it's a right triangle. What's the area of the triangle?
96.
Half times what? H. Half b h. Half b h. So it's half times the height, which is 1 times the 1, which is 1/2. Now, we have another triangle here.
Yes.
Above the x-axis. Yes, this triangle. Yes, this one above the x-axis. What's the area? طبعا. Here is the base is 1 and the height is 1.
Yes. So, Mr. The area is also half, but we have to subtract them from each other, صح?
Excellent. Yes, the area will be half times base times height. So half times 1 times 1, so it's half. don't say that the area is 1. I did the mistake yesterday. I said for them in the area is 1. No, but when I checked again, when I compared the geometric way with the calculus way here, I find that, or the integration way, I find that it cancel each other. The diamond they cancel each other, which is called the net area. The net area, which is half minus half 0. فده geometrically. The letter B طبعا بيسألك from 0 to 1 يبقى قصده على أي triangle. The blue one or the green one?
The yellow one.
The yellow قصدي 1. Okay, the yellow one. So it's equal to half or negative half?
It's gonna be negative half. مثل area half بس الvalue negative half.
Excellent. The area is half, but what? The value?
الvalue اللي هو ال y value is negative half.
Yes. Okay, so your answer here حسب الانتجريشن يطلع negative half. Let's do it here, guys, by using the definite integral. It's x squared over 2 minus x. بعدين substitute from 0 to 1. This put letter B.
بتصير half squared يا مستر.
half minus 1.
half بس لأن 1 squared هو 1
Yeah,
squared يعني half minus 1, which is
Negative
negative
half.
half. Why in geometry here it's a half? Should be negative عشان هي down. لو هو مثلا below the x-axis. Okay. The area is 0 because the area of the area 1 مثلا minus area 2 بيكون 0. اسمها net area. موجودة
Net
في
area.
4.4. Okay. So move on, guys, some properties of definite integrals. If A is in the domain of F, so if you find, guys, the area from A to A gonna give us 0, from 1 to 1, from 0 to 0, from 2 to 2. So, and this A is in the domain of the function, so it's 0. If F is integrable function and enclosed interval AB, you can change the limits, the upper and lower limit of the integration. And
يعني مستر حولها نيجاتيف وعكس بي وايه؟
yeah, like مثلا the previous question from 0 to 2. لا نعم خلينا في ايه؟
From 0 to 2 بتصير from 2 to 0. negative 2 to 0.
Okay, from 0 to 2 of the function اللي فاتت اللي هي x minus 1 dx. فممكن اخليها من 2 to 0 and then put negative of the function f of x dx. So this is another property. For example, from 1 to 1, so simply it's what? حسب letter A. From A to A, same number. So it's what?
Zero.
From 1 to 0.
We switch them.
Yes, so we can write it from 0 to 1 and put negative here. Root 1 minus x squared dx. Yeah, from the previous question number 1. From the previous question number 1, so we have what? From 0 to 1 طلعت معنا pi over 4. طبعا we need to do it by using the trick substitution. How to do it, guys, here by using the trick substitution? You need, guys, to see how to do it by using the trick substitution. طبعا حطينا x squared is u, 1 minus x squared is u, اللي هي u substitution اللي أخذناها in the previous session. يفضل x معنا, right? And if you write this all to the power of half, بس linear, it's not linear function inside, فبرضه إيه؟ you'll start. So you have to solve this question using the trick substitution. What's the trick substitution يعني؟ هناخده بالتفصيل بعدين بس. When I see here 1 minus x squared under the square root, but I'm gonna use trig, يعني trig sine cosine tan. بس منها 1 minus x squared, I will let x equal a sine theta. What is a? A is here. يعني in this form, a squared minus x squared. دايما استخدم trig substitution, x equal a sine theta. X equal the a now is 1 and sine theta. Dx over d theta is the derivative of sine, which is cosine theta, and we can bring the d theta here. So dx equal cosine theta d theta. So I'm going to replace the dx by cosine theta d theta, and replacing the 1 minus, replacing the x squared. Replacing the x squared, what is x squared from here? It's a sine squared theta. طيب. the definite
مستر عندي سؤال. How is x squared equal to sin theta?
x squared is square.
أو how is x equal to sin theta ولا يعني or are we just using that take we are putting x is equal to sin theta?
Yes, here is trig substitution. Okay, لسه هتاخدها بعدين.
Is this like a u substitution يا مستر؟
Yes, by using the u substitution هتفشل معاك fields. فبتاخد trig substitution. هتشوف ليه؟ لأن معاك 1 تمام minus طيب x squared. طيب we have x squared which is what? Sin square theta. طيب from 0 to 1.
مستر
Yes.
مستر أنا النت عندي قطع هلا رجعت دخلت بس أخذنا إيش بعد أول سؤالين مستر.
انت معنا هنا في الريد في الجرين
أخذنا
في two properties السريع لما يكون من LA بزيرو من LB ممكن تسويتش the limit the upper and lower limits of the integration وتحط negative بس. This one will be 0 and this one in عندنا هذا الكويستشن اصلا في letter C هنا اللي هي quarter circle and my answer is pi over 4 بس احنا جايين نعملها بالتريك substitution and we are integrate the function here. I'm gonna replace here x by a sine theta and a is 1. Here is a is the square the root of this number. When it's 9 so a is 3. When it's 16 it's 4a and the a is 4 and so on. Squaring x squared gives a sine squared. Differentiate to find the x. So 1 minus sine squared we can replace it with what? Cosine squared theta. And what's the
بس ايش هاي الاريا لو اداك تريج فانكشن يعني
لا انت this is another way. It's called trig way or trig substitution.
In what يا مستر يعني؟
To find the integral of this 1 root minus 1x squared. So dx equal cosine theta d theta. So we have cosine theta d theta. And now what's the root of cosine squared? Cosine. Cosine theta times again cosine theta d theta. طيب رجع تاني الكويستشن هنا كملوا هنا من 0 to 1. I have cosine squared right now صح؟ Cosine times cosine squared d theta, which can be written as 1/2 minus 1/2 plus, right, or minus? Yeah, 1/2 plus 1/2 cosine to theta d theta, the identity we used before, guys, instead of a cosine squared. And now find the integral. The integral of half is half theta, and the integral of half cosine to theta is half, and sine to theta, which is the integral of cosine over 2. And this all from 0 to 1. But I forgot to do something here دايما. إذا اشتغلت وحولت مثلا الإكس to theta, right? يعني أنت حولت الكويستشن كله من in terms of x in terms of theta. لازم تحول الليميتس برضه of integration. قبل ما تشتغل وتحط ثيتا لازم تحول كل من 0 ل 1 تحوله إلى ثيتا يا شباب. يعني إيه؟ يعني أروح هنا because the x is a, the x is sine theta, so replace x by 0 first and sine theta. What's theta now? It's a sine inverse of 0, and now theta equals 0 or pi. But because you're graphing the first quadrant or lies in the first quadrant, so it's 0. مش هاخد الباي. Okay, this is the theta. يعني when it's 0, it's 0 also. قصدي when x is 0, the theta also is 0. When x is 2, it's 1, right? When x is 1, what? Sine theta. Then theta equals the sine inverse of 1
over 2,
which is pi over 2. So you have to convert ال 1 بدل ما هو كان 0 to 1. Now احنا حولناه من 0 to pi over 2.
بس حتى بالباي حتى باليو سبستيوشن صح؟
Yes, all questions of definite integrals. إذا اشتغلت u substitution لازم تحول لهذا. بس لو ثيتا بس لو angles trick.
Yes.
مستر
Now half theta خلينا نعمل substitute بس يا شباب اهو substitute باي اوفر 2 طبعا تجاهل الزيرو خالص لان كده كده ماينس زيرو في الحاله بقى اوكي باي اوفر 2 يبقى you have 1 over 2 times باي اوفر 2 this is the theta plus 1 over 4 sine 2 theta sine اصلا 90 is what 0 sine 90 0
ده سن 91 مستر.
قصدي هنا ساين باي هنا هتكون لان
ايوه ساين باي بالضبط.
مستر انا صراحة دخلت في
ايوه
الحيط.
تصير باي.
you will cancel it out so it's
مستر بس انا
it's 0
مستر عندي سؤال.
المهم في الاخر
هلا هاي التريك سبستيوشن مستر احنا بنحل اي سؤال.
This is for this question. لو تفتكر هنا في letter C
اي كويشن عشان
I
والله
stopped
انا
before I
مخي
say it's a trick substitution and I stopped right.
يعني اللي هناك هذا انسر
يعني
هو.
مستر ما تنفعش الطريقه العاديه.
No, you have to integrate the function here. So he's asking us to find letter B from 1 to 0 using this property to flip.
والله مش فاهمها كويس مش عارف ليه.
Okay.
صراحة مستر أنا مش فاهمها أبدا.
مع اني مركز معك بس والله مش داخله مخي يعني فاهم علي؟
Okay. Why? لأنها أصلا not now. This way all you're gonna study it I think at the end guys. Listen not now, but I will show you that your answer is pi over 4, which is the same as the geometric way we did yesterday.
Yeah, for the area.
مش هنا this question هو نفس الكويشن.
بس يعني
0 to 1 for radical 1 minus x squared. اشتغلناها area. اشتغلناها area عادية quarter circle by r squared divided by 4 equals what pi over 4. Simply it's pi over 4. By using geometry areas, okay? But by using integration, you have to follow this way, trig substitution. The trig substitution أصلاً مش دلوقتي بس أنا قلت أوريها لكم يعني. It's not important right now. But again, you have to let x, this x, we will let it a sine theta. And a is 1. A is 1. A squared is 1 and a also is 1. The squaring of x is sine theta. dx over d theta يعني عملت derivative, the derivative of sine is cosine.
يعني مستر انت بدال اكس اخذت ساين ثيتا صح؟
Yes. So in my question بقت من 0 to 1 for radical 1 minus sine squared theta. From the identities you start before in 1 minus sine squared is cosine squared. And its root is cosine. I replaced the dx by cosine theta d theta. Cosine by cosine.
يعني مستر هاي زي اليو سبستيوشن تقريبا ولا
Yes, it's by using a trig functions.
Okay.
I stopped here and then I converted 0 and 1.
يعني بس التريك هناخده بعدين مستر صح؟
Yeah, this all way it has
الحمد لله
classes. Not now, but this is for you guys بس يعني اعتبروها additional information right now to prove that how يعني to integrate radical 1 minus x squared by using a trig substitution وعشان اثبت لكم ان هي equal pi over 4 برضه. تمام؟ زي الجيومتريك way. What's the important issue here? That ان من 1 ل 0 احنا حولناها من 0 to 1 وحطينا نيجاتيف برضه. Yes.
مستر هلا first two questions حليناهم مستر لازم نرسم ولا مو لازم؟ هاي وهون.
Yes, here you have to draw. Here a special case, guys. When we have x minus 1, you have to sketch your graph to see that the two areas gonna cancel each other and yields 0. Geometrically,
طب بس معلش مستر
don't say 1. Yes.
كيف عرفت لازم نبدأ من نيجاتيف 1 بالواي اكسس واخر شيء بالاكس اكسس عند 2.
The area is bounded between 0 and 2. The question here, your area should be between 0 and 2. The yellow area in this triangle, help.
Between 1 and 0 صح اللي هي
between 0 and 1. Between 0
للبي
and 1. أيوه. وبعدين الجرين area بتبدأ من 1 to 2. Also, you can split your integration into two parts. How? Write it as يعني أقدر
حط 0 to 1 و 1 to 2.
أيوة ممكن تعملها من 0 to 1 to the same function x minus 1. Okay, dx بعدين plus from 1 to what to 2 for x minus 1 dx and integrate هي تطلع لك 0
وتطلع واحدة هاف وواحدة نيجاتيف هاف.
yes half minus half تطلع 0 برضه. okay the same if you did it directly ما دي property properties. So when the area here above يعني ال A is positive half and the area here is negative half we're gonna cancel each other وبنقول عليها النت area تطلع بزيرو. خدنا two properties واستخدمناهم. في properties ثانية yes which is C the integral نفس ال properties اللي أخذناها شباب for A the indefinite integral the same for the definite integral. When you have a constant you can write it firstly before the integral sign. And you take it away and then take the integral of a function and then multiply the answer by C. You can here split the integral into two parts for f of f first plus g of x or minus g of x. For example here, evaluate the integral from 0 to 1, 5 minus 3 radical 1 minus x squared dx, 1 minus x squared again. Okay, so...
Can I solve?
Yes.
Okay, so first of all, let's
Split them
split
out.
the function. So 0 to 1 integral of 5 dx
Yes.
minus the integral of 0 to 1. Put the 3 outside.
Yeah, because it's constant.
Root 1 minus x squared.
dx
Which is pi, which is pi over 4. Yeah, pi over 4.
We will
Okay.
here take only the final answer, but
Yeah.
this is the whole way to integrate 1 minus x squared.
Exactly.
I don't know why the book bring this question here right
Time.
now.
So 0 to 1, 5. The integral is 5x.
Yalla.
5x integral. So the antiderivative is 5x and then 0 to 1, which is going to be 5. And then I think it's going to be minus negative pi over 4, صح؟ لأنه that one we flipped it and it was negative the integral of pi over 4 ولا كيف؟
من وين جبنا باي اوفر 4؟
From the previous question.
That one was 1 to 0. And then we flipped it should be negative, صح؟
يا بتصير نيجاتيف 0 to 1.
So it should be negative pi over 4 the original answer.
Yes.
But that cancelled. So yeah, it should be negative pi over 4.
Excellent. Again, يعني you'd like to write it as 1 to 0 and make it positive.
Plus. Exactly.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And here your area will be negative pi over 4. Same. Okay. Then it's 5 here.
Yeah, 5. Okay.
طبعا substituting by 0 also will be 0.
Minus
And then
3 pi
minus
over 4.
3 pi over 4.
لا بس shouldn't it be plus يعني مش فاهم إذا هذيك كانت negative إذا هي 0 to 1 negative pi over 4.
This all is equal to what? Pi over 4 and there is negative outside انت سواء بدلتها او سبتها هي تطلع برضه نفس الكلام and leave your answer as 5 minus 3
مستر
pi.
مستر
يبقى here guys only
Mr.
this
pi
part
over
احنا
4.
اعتمدنا على ال previous question. pi over 4 يا عمر من هنا in this way او من هنا من ال geometric way pi over 4. Pi over 4 which is the area of this quarter circle geometrically or by using integration you should do this all to reach pi over 4. Okay, فاحنا استخدمنا pi over 4 من ال previous question and it's negative since we flipped the limits of the integration بدل من 0 ل 1 من 1 ل 0 هي طلعت negative pi over 4. Next, if is continuous and bounded between two numbers a and b or closed the interval ab containing 3 points a, b, c. Like what? I know the area مثلا from 1 to 3. I know it. أو أقدر أجيبها because it's like a square. And then I know the area again from C to B. So and passes through 3 numbers A, C, and B. So we can find first the area from A to C and then from C to B. So this is rule يعني. To find the area under curve of this function f of x and the x-axis, you can integrate from A to C and then from C to B. Okay? Discontinuities and integrability. Okay, and when the function is continuous here, the function f is defined on the closed interval.
رجعنا نفس تبع الترم الأول.
نشوف ال discontinuity and integrability. نشوف is it integrable when it's continuous or not. Okay. When we have function and this function is defined on the interval, is said to be bound on the interval if there is positive number m such that this m linear horizontal line passes through. يعني this function f of x is bounded between two lines, two horizontal lines or two functions, two horizontal lines. ما بين هي two lines, negative مثلا 3 and 3, negative m and m for x in the interval. Okay, lies between two lines, يعني two horizontal lines. You know the horizontal lines لما يكون y equal 3 مثلا and negative
Yes.
3. So
ترسم
imagine that
no?
here it's 3. So horizontal line, find that this function is bounded between two lines. f of x bounded مثلا هنا أو خلينا نقول مثلا ما بين two numbers bounded between two lines. Area under f of greater than الاريا اللي above تكون greater than or equal area below. y equal m, y equal negative m. Like this
مستر ما
one.
فهمت، ممكن تعيد؟
Again, function f is bounded between two numbers, negative m and m, واحد positive, and there is a positive number m, like 3, like 4, like كده، بحيث إن الفانكشن نفسها تكون between them. f of x bounded between bounded يعني واقعة ما بين two lines.
تمام.
Yes, the same as what in geometry that f over the interval مثلا lies between line equal and like a function f like this lies between مثلا m y equals 3 and y equals what another number negative 3 and
وشوي مستر شرحتها على اليمين. area under
f is greater than the area above greater than or equal area
دائما
under G. Yes. F not bounded on A and B. Yes, F has infinitely many discontinuities, but is bounded on the closed interval. Then F is integrable on this one, A and B. But F is not bounded if F is not integrable on A and B. This is the relation between discontinuity and the integrable functions. يعني, it will be, guys, and there are many discontinuities. So maybe it's bounded. So it's integrable. Okay, and maybe if بتكون not bounded and not يعني it should be bounded. Okay, يعني if it's bounded in the closed interval A and B ممكن يكون عندها many discontinuities gaps وكده وبريكس أو مثلا عندها vertical asymptotes بس هي bounded ما بين ال closed interval A and B, so it's integrable on this closed interval. But if it's not bounded حتى لو continuous, so it's what? It's not integrable on the closed interval AB. Or maybe it's not bounded on the closed interval, then F is not integrable. Like this graph above here. F is not bounded on the closed interval. Okay? Y equal M, Y equals negative M. طيب the closed interval A and B. شايفين فوق function not bounded between them. So it's not integrable. Because it's not bounded in the closed interval A and B. It's not in between A and B. So this function is not integrable. Okay. This only to know, guys. يعني في حاجات yes, you have to know it only.
والله
This one
beginners
مستر صراحة أنا مستر أنا زيرو مستر.
The last two slides هنا مش مهمين.
الحمد لله. الحمد لله.
حل questions الحاجات المهمة. Number 1. In each part, use a portion of 2 to 7. This line you see in the combining figure. Letter A, what is n? n هنا طبعا the number of subintervals. يعني how many subintervals between 2 and 7? طبعا
4 subintervals, Mr.
What?
4 subintervals.
4
3 and 4. Yes.
So it's 4. Right, n equals 4. x0 is
1.
x0. The first point.
مش الدلتا. yes my bad. Yes 2.
Yes, yes. Delta X في letter C لسه 1 ماشي. طيب X2 X1 is
3.
is 3. Yes, and the X3 قصدي X2 is 4.5 and X4
6.5 و 7 آخر واحدة.
6.5 and 7. Sorry. In letter C delta X1 يعني the distance هنا delta X1 which is 3 minus 2
1.
equals 1. Delta X2 delta X2
1.5.
1.5. Delta X3 which
2.
is the max one, right? It's what?
2.
2. Delta X4 which
Half.
is the last one. Delta X4 here. This distance is 0.5. The mesh of this portion is, what's the mesh?
I don't know what's this.
مش دي قبله؟
Okay, let's move back. It's in the beginning of the lesson, guys. We said اللي هي max 1. The max delta x. أكبر delta x طلعناه.
لا
delta x 3. Here is it.
حاول تخفف.
Like this one. You know, one approach is to let max delta x. It's called the mesh size.
Okay, so
The
2 يعني
magnitude
mesh size.
max delta xk is called the mesh size. So here is 2 because the distance from يعني 9 over 2 minus 5 over 2 gives here max delta k اللي هي اسمها mesh. Okay. So in our question here, our question, so the mesh of this portion is 3. Okay. So what يا أسامة? 3 اللي هي the greatest distance.
2 مستر صح؟ 4.5 to 6.5 is 2.
Yeah, احنا طلعنا 2 دلتا. It's 2 here. It's 2. Which is represents us the delta x what 3.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. This is called what, guys?
The mesh.
The mesh. Let f of x equals to x minus 8. Use the portion or partition من our closed interval من 2 to 7 in a quick check exercise 1 and in choices that x sub 1 is 2 and x sub 2 is 4. Okay, and x sub 3 is what? Is 5 and x sub 4 is 7 to evaluate the Riemann sum. Yeah, who can do it?
No, can I do it?
Yes.
Okay, so Mr. Let's
Delta
just
X.
rewrite the delta x. Can we just rewrite delta x? Oh, 1 second. So x1 is 2. So Mr. Delta x1 should be 2.
2y2, explain.
And then 4 minus 2.
is
Yes, and then delta x2 should be 1. And then delta x3 should be 2. And we're gonna use here 3 partitions.
Yes.
So do they want left or right or both?
Right, this.
Right Riemann sum. Okay.
So wait. Here we start from what?
2, 4, 5,
We start
7.
from 2, right?
Yes.
So we
2, 4, 5, 7.
2 till 7.
Yes.
2 and then
4
and then
5.
5 and then 7.
Yes.
Yes, here it's what? Delta x1, which is 2, and here 1, and here 2 again.
Yes. And then we're going to find the y values. And we don't need the y value of the 2 because we're not going to use it.
We should find first xi أو xk هنا في الكتاب بيسميها xk. I explained this for you yesterday على أساس إن هي x sub k, x sub i. هنا عادي x sub k عادي no problem. I said I equals 1. هي هنا في الكتاب بيكتب k equals 1 عادي. x sub k equals from the right, huh?
Yes. طيب شو اسمه مستر؟
a plus delta x I أو k times times k times I.
ماشي. اللي هي مستر you find the area of the rectangle.
Yes.
Okay, so مستر ايش اسمه delta x1 multiplied by the f of 4.
هقول لك حاجة stop لأن إيه it's gonna take a long time. Okay مش هنقدر نبدأ فيها طبعا. We will not finish it. Leave it عشان نتكلم على بعضنا عشان نعمل calculations and then stop. So we will start with this question, inshallah, number 2, the period number 4. Okay?
Okay.
Fourth period. Yeah. Assalamu alaikum.